I'm back. In this video, we will rate Wheat Waffles and Alex from playing with fire against each other. I'm not gonna use the standard 1 to 10 system that the Looksmaxxing community usually uses because A, it's worthless in real life, and B, because it's useless if you want to improve yourself. That's why we will break down this into 5 categories: masculinity, health, sex appeal, uniqueness, and popularity. Let's start with facial masculinity, which basically means how dimorphic or high T your face looks. This scale goes from typical soy boy faces to hyper-masculine men like Jocko Willink, while most women 21 and above prefer relatively masculine looking men, but nothing extreme. Starting with Alex, he has a very masculine face. Male pattern balding is one side effect of that, usually caused by dihydrotestosterone, a more potent form of testosterone. This hormone on the positive side also promotes strong beard growth, which Alex has. He has a strong brow ridge and eyebrows that sit relatively close to his eyes. His eyes are compact, his nose is relatively large and bony, his jaw is on the wider end of the average range, his lips are narrow, his midface is very compact. These are typical masculine traits. Only his eyebrow density and neck size are more on the average side. Although strong beard growth is a sign of high testosterone, his beard style doesn't do him any favors. With the right grooming, on the other hand, he could style it to make his jawline even more angular and attractive. And now Wheat Waffles. He doesn't look like a complete soy boy, but he is not particularly masculine either. His most masculine traits are his low set eyebrows, prominent chin, compact midface, and his recent neck gains. His eyebrows lack either density, color, or both. It's hard to tell because they are barely visible, honestly. Another thing to notice is that one side of his face is much more angular and wider and thus more masculine than the other side. I have the same problem and the beard really helped me with that. Here's a picture. Okay, a beard can really help with narrow jaws, with rounded jaws, or like in my case and Wheat Waffles' case, if one side is rounded and the other side is not. The first round goes to Alex 100%. Now let's talk about health. This is crucial because women generally look for signs of good health to ensure strong genetics for potential offspring and to minimize risks of infection during intimacy. Studies show that women are more sensitive to health-related cues and are often more easily disgusted than men. For Alex, I see some areas that could be improved relatively easily. I understand he has been dealing with an illness and I wish him the best, but if he wants to do something, if he wants to work on it, if I were him, I would consider using a bit of concealer, whitening his teeth, and exploring options to boost his eyebrow density. And maybe skip the grey clothing as it doesn't do him any favors. On the other hand, Wheat Waffles looks very healthy overall. The only thing he might address is his very light eyebrows, which could be easily enhanced. This round, altogether, considering everything, goes to Wheat Waffles. He looks pretty healthy except of his eyebrows. Now let's talk about sex appeal. Most men don't have much sex appeal, mainly because it's rarely discussed. The only things some men are doing are getting tattoos and building muscles. Women, on the other hand, have mastered this game. They use push-up bras to enhance their chest, eyeliners to add contrast to their eyes, high heels to lift their butt, fitted dresses to highlight their curves, and red blush and lip gloss to appear as fertile as possible. Sex appeal can significantly boost attractiveness, especially if you are average looking. People will actually perceive your face as more attractive than it objectively is. It's really a hack. Wheat Waffles seems to have a slightly athletic build, but his styles sometimes make him look like a grandpa and other times like a nerdy rich kid, which is counterproductive if you already look like an average nice guy next door. Out of all the pictures I've seen on him, the black t-shirt suited him the best. Alex, on the other hand, simply doesn't care at all. If he wants to improve his sex appeal, okay, if I was him, I would consider a hair transplant, a hair system, or even a buzz cut, as he's lucky to have a relatively square head shape that lets him shave his head without looking egg-shaped. Okay, this is very rare. He's lucky. And apart from that, working out and wearing colors that suit him would also make a big difference. This is my rating for both of them. Okay, now let's talk about uniqueness. Here, unique means anything that makes you stand out in your country or in your local area. This can include rare genetic traits like dark skin with light eyes or distinctive hairstyles and clothing. And while uniqueness can help, it's not as crucial as the previous three aspects we just discussed. By definition, of course, most people rank low on this scale because uniqueness means it's rare. Okay, the challenge is to stand out without making yourself look worse. For example, you could dye your hair blue to be more unique, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should. Given the locations of both of Alex and Wheat Waffles, Alex stands out less than Wheat Waffles, who has light blonde hair and blue eyes, which by itself is a rare thing. Okay, there are not many people as ginger or blonde as Wheat Waffles. The final round is about mainstream appeal. How much demand exists for your particular look? In my experience, one of the most popular types is the sharp-dressed Italian-looking guy. On the other hand, K-pop inspired looks or bold, hyper-masculine men typically appeal to smaller niches. Wheat Waffles falls toward the outer edge of the average spectrum. On the one hand, he is so ginger it's really blinding. If he had been born a girl, he would basically won the genetic lottery. And while generally most women prefer at least a bit of beard and also darker hair, if Wheat Waffles made a few style improvements, he would still appeal to a large pool of young women. Okay, there are women who like blonde guys, and this is still a big niche. It's not a small niche, not as big as dark, okay, tall, dark and handsome, but it's still big. And I know this because I have a friend who is ginger, really ginger, and he is doing really good. Alex could become even more mainstream appealing than Wheat Waffles due to his darker hair. However, there are two issues. One, of course, is his hairline, but the other one is probably even bigger, and this is the volume and the style of his beard, which many women find excessive. Okay, it's long, it's kind of messy, and you can wear a big beard, but you need to make it look as if it's not big. And a big beard, yes, looks masculine, but on the other hand, you need to make it look clean if you want to appeal to a larger group, if you want to appeal to a larger niche. Again, we will discuss these things, how to do that, probably in this channel. This round also goes to Wheat Waffles. That said, both could become very good looking if they seriously put in the effort. I would say they could reach the top 10 percentile in their age group easily. Okay, they definitely could. Anyways, that's all from me. Thanks for watching.